folks. Welcome to Between Awesome and Disaster. This is your host, Will Carey. I appreciate you guys being here as always. Hope you're having a good day. My life is, in the past couple of days, has been an absolute shit show. Not because of me personally, but if we're on the scale of like awesome to disaster, we're teetering on the edge of disaster and are looking towards a nice swan dive into the lake beneath it. I can't be too specific right now, but when things clear up, I'll tell you guys the whole story, and I'll find a way to, when I'm able to, I'll get that information, because it's a wild ride, at least for my experience. On the show today, another repeat guest is Coree Spencer. Coree Spencer is a really good friend of mine, and she is the founder of the Cinder Block Comedy Festival, which is currently accepting submissions. I believe it's for $25, and we talk a little bit about that. And Coree, unlike some festival directors, is really the only person I've heard that kind of really explicitly lays out, and we talk about this a bit, what she's looking for in a submission video. So if you are a newer comic or a younger comic and are looking to do a Cinder Block this year, I worked tech for some shows last year, and it was a pretty good time, and met a lot of new people that I would have never heard of otherwise, because we don't run in the same circles. So it's I feel a very valuable experience. And again, the main part of all this is fun. And that's what I think you'll do if you either perform in or attend shows at Cinder Block. So I'll have a link in the description for Cinder Block. I believe it's cinderblockfestival.com. And I'll have a link in the description so you can go and submit if you're interested. And thank you for listening, folks. Let's go to my chat with Coree Spencer.
You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, we shouldn't.
Sure. So you're both at like 75%, but you're living like you're at 85%.
Yeah, we pretend like we're not. Like I tell some people. Reason why I did the festival too is I just couldn't. I got real sick and I just didn't really feel like going anywhere.
Sure. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last time, because the last time we had a long conversation, I think, was before the first Cinder Block.
You and me had a
Comedy
podcast
Festival
right before people started talking about what we were doing. You were the last interview that I did before it sounds so stupid, before we went viral. Right. And then everyone wanted to interview me, and I was like, nope.
Yeah. Well, no, I felt no, I was like, because I was like, I felt so lucky. I mean, I figured maybe because we're friends, I'd probably get in there anyway, but
I didn't want to talk to anybody after a certain point. So,
well, no, because, because I imagine you're getting this like huge swath of like legitimate press, like Time Out and all of that stuff. Sure. But then I also the knuckleheads that have just a basic problem with your mission behind.
Yeah, I think people just had a flavor of the week they wanted to be pissed about last year, and now there's so many things to be pissed about.
So much
that we just kind of fall into the background now, and no one really gives us any problems, which is cool. Yeah, but
is there a bit of you like, hey, why is no one calling me a cunt this week? This time last year, I was getting 3 cunts a day.
No, this time last year, I had changed my name to my cat's name online and was like, no one messes with my mom, and I was like going through the whole thing. But this year, I'm just like, I'm actually prepared for it, and like no one wants to fight me anymore because I think they know I'm prepared for it, and I don't know, or they're just bored. Right. It's boring now. Like, why would it? Yeah. You got it out of your system a year ago that you hated me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I got to call these people snowflakes on Twitter.
And at this point, no one can say this isn't going to work.
Right, because it did. I volunteered for a couple of shows.
Thank you.
Last
Thank
year,
you
and
so much for your help.
Oh, no problem. And they were
that's what held us together was volunteers.
Well, anytime.
Yeah. Well, say that again. So, woo.
And the shows were good, and I met a bunch of comics that I'd never met before.
Which is the whole fucking point.
Yeah.
And so now, like I said, like nobody can be like, yeah, are you sure it's going to work? And I was like, yeah, it will.
Yeah. Well, because there's a definite, and we talked about this a little bit. There's like a definite need for a festival that will at least offer the idea that you're going to get in, I think. And I'm not trying. I'm being.
It's incredibly
I'm being
hard.
sincere.
I'm not gonna be crazy here. But like our festival is incredibly hard to get into, and I know that because there's no way I would get in. So and I remember thinking that last year, and that's probably what killed me wanting to do stand up ever again. Was just me watching the submissions and going
over and over and over and over again.
This shit's hard, and now I get why I shouldn't be mad if I don't get into festivals anymore. And there was one point where I'll tell you the story.
Great.
So
great.
Back in San Francisco, I lived there for 3 years. I had my friend started a comedy festival, and I was like, I'm getting in. Right? I'm getting in.
Yeah.
I still applied. He had a rule where if you knew him and you already knew your material, you didn't have to submit a video.
Yeah.
And I still submitted a video, and I paid the submission fee, even though you didn't have to. It was an optional thing because it was his first year. I donated $100 to Kickstarter. Like I was like supporting my friend fully.
Yeah.
I did not get in. And
oh shit.
I didn't talk to him for almost 3 years.
Because you were just that mad.
I wound up actually moving out of San Francisco a month before the festival started, before the festival happened. So I didn't have to explain why I wasn't in it. I was going to move, but I wasn't going to move that soon.
Right. You stepped it up to not be there.
I stepped it up an extra month because I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want anyone to know I didn't get in. So
oh man,
I'd rather them not think that I was in the running. That was my ego before I went to New York. And oh God, thanks New York.
Yeah,
because New York puts you in your place right away.
Oh, absolutely.
But I still was.
We were all futures where we came from.
Yeah, and then I was still kind of like, like shitty, because I'm shitty. And then actually, it took running my own festival and having to reject people that I know are funny.
Right.
To make me go, oh shit, this really had nothing to do with me. I mean, it did. Don't get me wrong. It did. My tape was probably garbage, and to be honest, I wasn't that great of a comic back then, and I've never actually really liked anything I've ever done on stage, which is probably why I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, I want to ask about that too, but I want you to
I know I go all over the place.
No, it's good. I like this train of thought you're going on.
But so seeing that, it just made me go, oh, I'm a cunt. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I shouldn't have done that to my friend who was just trying to make a festival. And he was just doing the best job he could. And it wasn't just him. It was another guy. And I was like, holy shit.
Right.
It's so much work right now for me to like run this festival with 18 people underneath me. Can you imagine 2 people? Or even just doing it alone? I can't.
I imagine.
Lose my shit.
Yeah. No, I'm just imagining you'd like A, rip your hair out first, and then B, impale yourself on a microphone stand.
Well, and something's got to give if you don't have the support. There are going to be things that you're going to leave out and fuck up on, and I feel like there are things that we left out and fucked up on with a crew of 20 because it's going to happen.
No, yeah, it just is. It becomes the kind of dance, like the orchestrated dance that I hear like chefs describe what like a busy dinner service is, or
That's
even
what the festival
or even
felt like.
or even like a play, if you're putting on like a play,
Yeah.
because you have all these different elements and you're trying to keep them all together. If one thing goes wrong, you're like, oh my God, I gotta fix that right now.
Yeah, that wasn't in the plan. You know, you have to have a backup plan for every plan.
Yeah.
And
then a contingency
but
plan.
that's the shit that I like. You know what I mean? I like that kind of shit. But
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's a weird experience. It's you can tell somebody that it's a lot of work, and I don't think they're gonna fully get it until they're doing it. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've had a couple of people that I know who've started festivals who have talked to me after the fact or during it, and like they were like, "How did you do this?" And I was like, I just laugh at them because it's like, yes, you're like me. You feel my pain.
Exactly.
It's sick. It's really sick.
Yeah. Now, here's something I'm curious about, and I'm not asking this because I'm going to submit my show this year. I'm genuinely curious. You said that watching submissions over and over again broke you from wanting to do stand-up because
No.
Would you consider? Do you do stand up at all anymore, or have you decided you're done?
I'm not doing. I haven't. The last time I did stand up was the final day of my festival. Huh. So it was September 18th. And was the last day I did stand up.
Yeah. And was that a hard choice, or did it just kind of feel natural?
No. You know what happened was I wasn't going to book myself in my festival, and everyone was like, "You're stupid. Why would you do all that work if you can't even give yourself a spot?" Mm-hmm. And I was just like, okay, well, I really haven't been doing stand-up. One, because,
the festival's so much work.
The festival is so much work. And two, because I just fucking hate open mics. And I just didn't want to be part of the culture at the time because it was just...
Yeah, I know. There was that couple... If the open mics in New York, I feel sometimes go through these waves of like where everyone's there is just really downtrodden and it just feels like a place you don't want to be.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it goes up and it's a little more optimistic. I feel like that can also vary from Monday to Friday.
Well, the stand-up culture in New York is way different than the stand-up culture in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So, for example, in San Francisco, what you would do is you could do a couple open mics. You could get away with doing a couple open mics when you first start off.
Yeah.
You get booked on your first show. You could literally never do an open mic again. Uh-huh. If you just keep booking yourself shows and getting on shows, there's so few comics there.
Yeah.
That eventually, there was a point where I'd been in San Francisco for 3 years and probably had done maybe 5 open mics my whole time there, but I was closing out shows.
Right.
So not the shows, not club shows, but if I was booked on a bar show, I knew I was going up last, or I was going to go up second to last. I knew my place.
Sure.
And that's why New York was... It was hard. And and the culture's different here, where you can be somebody like, say, Adam Newman or Mike Racine, and you're still hitting open mics.
Yeah.
And it's like, didn't I just see you on TV? And so there's no humility here in New York. It's like, I guess I gotta do the open mic, and you're like, but what do you have to? It's a different culture.
Yeah, and it's this never stop kind of.
And I'm not
culture.
the type of person who wants to do 27 fucking mics in a week.
Well, I agree. I hit a point where it just started not being it wasn't helping me anymore. Mm-hmm. Doing the third mic of the night wasn't helping me anymore. Mm-hmm. So I eventually was like, oh, if I go and live a little and I could, have material that way. Because, sometimes you get caught up in that trap of doing only open mics, and then your comedy becomes about open mics and then appeals only to, and then starts to appeal.
Jokes for comics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what
using
are, and,
lingo
and what
the audience doesn't understand.
Right. Yeah. You go up there. You start trying to go up at real shows, and then, or clubs, and then it's like, oh, you don't understand this lingo. Yeah. You don't understand tag when I say tag.
So I gave her a tag, and it's like, what? This is a joke? Huh?
Yeah.
No one gets it.
Yeah. Or my cheeky reference to a cartoon from the early 90s. How come no one gets me in this room?
Yeah. So basically, I don't like the culture of I don't like how stand-up works in New York. And that's me. That's my problem. Because I can't go back to San Francisco. Because who can? Do you know what I mean? Like, who
Sure.
can?
No, I can't
not
go
like
back
things
to
were
Baltimore.
So great for me there either because I left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just, I only moved to New York because I thought I had a job in the industry. And it was for a company that used to make like videos, sketch videos, and I used to do a lot of sketch comedy before I moved here, mostly in Portland. And I had gotten this deal with this company that used to follow me everywhere, like online. And I'm not going to say the name of the company.
Sure.
But I can tell you off air. And they would say, hey, if you ever move to New York, the guy who runs it, like the CEO of this website that literally has like shows that have discovered people.
Yeah.
And he's like, Coree, I'm such a big fan. If you're ever out in New York, you got a job with me. He said that to me. I took that very literally.
Right.
And I was like, I'm in New York now. Want to meet? And I met in their studios, and I brought pitches. And they didn't tell me I was bringing pitches, but if you're gonna meet, you better bring some pitches.
Yes.
And so I had like 3 pitches. They liked one of them, maybe 2 of them, and it felt pretty good in there. They gave me a coffee. I was there.
Right,
know,
so
and
you're
I
like,
look
oh,
around,
man.
I see their logo everywhere. I was like, I only saw this on the internet. Oh, New York's so magic. And they were like, okay, well, I just want to be real here. We'd love you to make content for our website. We can't pay you.
Oh, God.
So I was like, but I can help out here. And they're like, well, can you edit a website? And I was like, well, no, but like if we had like a studio here, I could be like a host of something, or we could do some fun, thing. And he's just like, oh yeah, if you want to make something for me, we'll be happy to air it. We'll air anything that you give us, but we're not going to pay you.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I here? Like, I took like a part-time job. I took a job for like 15, hours a week because I was like, well, I can't get a real job because I'm going to be working for this website and making content for them.
God damn.
I got my fucking face squarely kicked when I moved here, and I feel like if anyone hated me, they'd be like, excellent. That would be like their best year for me. It was like, oh yeah, that's the year I got hit by a cinder block actually too.
Right.
So that was like kind of like New York.
Yeah. So you're not having a good. So that wasn't a good.
It was. You know what? It was a fine year. It was a fine year because it probably made me a better person.
Right.
Because goddamn, I didn't realize I had such a fucking ego, and now I have barely anything left.
Right. No, I'm at a point where I'm just so happy to put a podcast out every week and book a monthly show and book myself longer sets. I'm just so happy to do that. And then the couple of book shows of sets I get, I'm just so stoked. And I'm now at a point where I'm just trying to be a friend to all people. And then hopefully that will work out at some point. That's where
being
I'm
an
at.
asshole is definitely not the plan. So anything other than being an asshole, I think you're good.
Oh, thanks.
You're not. You're just a nice dude.
I appreciate that, Corey.
I thought about going back to stand up. I think about it a lot, actually. But I don't think I'll ever want to do anything that I've ever done. If
you're going to start.
It's going to have to be something completely different.
Well, that's great.
I have some ideas, but it's not.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because
here.
like you now have a job in the comedy.
I actually
community.
work in the industry now.
Right.
What weird.
Very weird to think, right?
Very weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for you though. So.
Thanks.
But the thing is like. The great thing about, I feel like one of the things about stand up is like literally you can do the 20 sets a week, or you the idea is that it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
That's what I like, because being on stage just really is one of the things that brings me a lot of joy.
Oh, totally. Me too.
Even when it sucks. So if you love that, there's no reason I don't think you could do it again.
Agreed.
And as long as it stays fun, then
yeah, it just stopped being fun for me.
Yeah.
You know, and organizing shit became more fun.
Yes.
Which is weird, but I've always like when I did sketch video, I usually produced. Mm-hmm. That was I'd write, I'd produce.
So because we talked to I know this about you're the organized, get shit done kind of girl.
Yeah, but I'm also like a huge pothead, and I am lazy to a point, which is like a lot of people probably wouldn't think I am lazy, but I'm absolutely so lazy. But
well, you're like 0 or 100, I think.
I am.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm either doing 100 million things or I want to do nothing at all.
Well, and I don't want to do stand-up if I'm going to half-ass it.
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
Man, only... Yeah. I know I was just talking about this with Allison, but man, if people realized... imagine if more people thought that way. I could just clear up some more stuff.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious. I want to ask a little bit about when you were booking the first Cinder Block. And
sure.
Like... if you got to keep it vague for any reason.
Fine. Basically, what we did was just threw all the white men down in the trash bin.
Of course.
Yeah, first thing that we did.
Yeah, that's
you're not getting in.
Good place to start. I'm curious something you said though. How many jokes do we need about Tinder and smoking pot and the fact that I wear a hoodie? Well, I also sent you that Humans of New York video that was like the prototype of like political correctness is destroying comedy, like that guy.
Oh god, yeah. This is like, have you seen Millennials of New York?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember sending you that.
Okay, that makes more sense. So I was like, no, that's a different thing.
Yeah, no, humans good, millennials no.
Millennials is much more funny.
So you said that you were watching these submission tapes and you had to, like, there were people that were funny that you couldn't book.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I didn't book 17 venues.
Yeah. So it's just it's mostly just
not having the spots. It was just I don't want anyone to. Okay, I've flown across the country to do one spot for a festival. I don't want anyone to have to do that.
Yeah.
I did it. I know that people will do it, but that's not the reason to do it.
Sure. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
if you book somebody for your festival, it's because you believe in them, you think they're funny. Give them more than one set, especially if they're from out of town. Jesus Christ. Come on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Don't fucking fly these LA motherfuckers out and then give them one spot. That's shitty.
No, it is.
So shitty. So, and I get it. They're out there. They're in New York, so they can actually get other spots. And we don't keep our comics from doing other spots in the city because New York is so big. It's not like it's going to take away from our festival.
No, of course not.
I don't care. I even told the headliners, if you find another gig, do it. I'm not going to fucking stop you. People will come to the festival because it's a festival.
Yes.
So that was never a concern. But at the same time, if they're coming out for you, give them something for that. So I was trying to give everybody at least 3 comedy sets, at least 3 stand-up sets if they were a stand-up performer. But it was kind of weird because some people would get like 6 some odd shows. And I remember, I won't say who it was, but one of the straight male comics that was on the lineup, he said he was confronted by a female and he doesn't know like if she was in the festival or a friend of someone in the festival, and she was like, why do you have 6 shows? And was just really in his face. And I get why she was like frustrated. Maybe she had 3 or whatever it was, but the reason why people got more shows is because they were more willing to do crazy shit. So for example, everybody got their own standard 3 sets. You know, like someone like Janelle James, when I asked her, do you want to do like not board games, but do you want to do like game contests? Do you want to do, you know, stage read shows? Because I love variety in my festivals.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want to do any storytelling? She's like, no, stand up. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. So Janelle James only got 3 sets. Whereas somebody, you know, like
Who's like, yeah, I'll do
whatever. I'll do the naked show. I'll do, I'll do, fucking Pokemon fucking comedy. I don't care. I'll do it. And so when the spots would come open, I'd be like, well, here's the dude. Here's Momo, for example. Momo says he'll do anything.
Yeah. I love Momo.
And he's available during this time. He got that spot. So, it was, once you got in, it was just about trying to Jenga you in. It was like a jigsaw puzzle, just where does this person fit? Where can I put them? Are they going to be available? Are they going to be nearby?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing's a pub crawl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's really fun to put together, but God, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Over 100, we had over 200 performers if you count like bands and improv groups and, shows that were being submitted that already had, like they'd have like a couple people already on the lineup that they'd bring in. So we just had so many fucking people. There are people who have done the festival that I don't know their name.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that's good though, right?
It's really weird. I've had people walk up and I've done your festival. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Yeah, it's really weird because you think only 1 year I should know everybody, but there were so many like weird little subgroups that just had their own thing going on. Yeah. And I can't memorize every improv member of your team.
Oh no, who could?
So, yeah.
Wow. Woo! That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's fun.
it sounds fun, and I love a
lot of work.
Yeah. But it sounds like, and I don't know like the business behind it all, but it seems like it pulled from the shows I was working. They were very well attended, and the shows were all really funny. I laughed a bunch, particularly the one where I can't remember the name of it, but there's a guy and a girl. They're like behind a desk.
Oh, it's the store's objection.
Yes.
And they interrupt everybody during their sets.
Yes.
The guy had like blue glasses.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So my favorite one was watching Patrick Hasty deftly get the better of them every single time.
Was he like ready for their rebuttal?
Yeah.
Like
every single one. He just threw right back at him.
Some people didn't want to do that show,
And he was eating and the entire time he was doing that, he was eating a salad with his hands.
Oh, is that his salad of the day?
No, that was his salad of the day.
Yeah.
And every time
if you don't know Patrick Hasty, he did 365 salads all
366 because it was a leap year.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Never eats lettuce in his life, and he did that. And God, the salads he put together were disgusting. Did you see some of them? They were like
yes, I did.
Veggie chicken nuggets on top, and then he'd like put a slice of cheese from like and then there'd be like a weird cookie or something, and they're like, "What are you making?"
Yeah, he put dried pasta in one, and it like he almost broke his teeth.
Dried pasta, you stupid ass.
Like literally, me and literally me and my girlfriend watched him like build one on Facebook Live, and he did it, and she was telling me to say things
like on caps. No.
Right. She was like, "Tell him not to do that," because I don't know if you know. I don't think you know Chelsea super well, but she makes salads that I'm excited to eat. I've never been one who's up for vegetables, so I was like, dude.
Let her make you a salad. I volunteered to make him a salad so many times.
She says she will make you a salad, and I know you're not eating meat. We can work around that.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's so many salads you can make.
Well, she makes this, she makes like a grilled chicken mandarin orange salad that has like toasted pine nuts and Asiago cheese, and I could eat like a pound of that every single day and not get tired of it.
Yeah. And if you don't eat chicken, he eats that fake chicken. So
yeah. So
I don't know.
But I love Pat. I wish I got to see him more, but he's busy being great.
Pat.
He's busy being Pat. We're gonna. What I want to do with him is I want to do me, him, and Amy, John's wife. Want to do like a nostalgic new metal podcast.
Sure.
Where we discuss like early 2000s like metal and hard rock.
All right.
That's one of my things. What was I gonna ask? What was I gonna ask you next?
Oh my God, so many things.
Are we covering everything that you want to cover so far? Because I know we also want to talk about inclusiveness in comedy, which these are the kinds of arguments I see play off in 56 comment threads on Facebook. My only opinion on inclusiveness in comedy is that
Do it.
I'm good for it. I'm pro.
You know, it's weird because like this wasn't supposed to be my mission, and it became my mission, and now I'm completely fine with it. Do you know how that happens? It's like it's like how pancakes were born. You know, like they didn't mean to, but then something fell.
Please continue.
And then now you got a pancake instead. You know what I mean? And it's good. It's perfect. And you're so glad you have it. But that's not what you set out to do. And so Cinder Block was supposed to be a ladies' festival.
Like penicillin.
Yes, exactly.
Penicillin was discovered by accident.
It's just, you forgot about your sandwich. You meant to have a really good sandwich, but it just mildewed, and now you have a life-saving drug.
Yeah. So
Cinder Block
this
is
festival
that
became
sandwich.
your sandwich.
Became my penicillin. So yeah, it was supposed to be a festival for women, to help out women, to reach out to women and give us opportunities and an opportunity to have a fun party too. And my main force that was driving me was having a party. And I think that a lot of people don't give me credit for that. I think like I'm some social justice warrior, which I have turned into one over the past like decade. But really, I also really like to have a good time.
Yes.
And I like festivals, and festivals are fucking fun. And I've given a couple hand jobs at some festivals, and they've been the most wonderful times of my life.
Yeah.
And I really hope that somebody got some handies
at Cinder Block.
Yeah, and continue. I was saying that before too. I was like, God, I hope somebody like got their shit played with during our festival, because like that's,
in a consensual, respectful way. Of course.
Oh my God. But because it's part of the experience. And you don't need the opposite sex to be there to have that kind of experience. But
sure.
It was one of those kind of situations where have you ever heard the term white feminist?
Yes.
So some people have heard it, but they don't really understand it. And the whole idea would be, it'd be a white feminist thing to say, we need a festival for women and then book mostly white women. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like save the women, but women aren't the only ones who need to be, not saved, I guess, but represented.
Right.
And so that's kind of how it all came about. I was going to do something for women, and I was like, we're not the only tokens. And do I really want to be just like there just for one group?
Sure.
It didn't make any sense. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a little something for people of color. Let's do a little something for, people, LGBT people. And I kind of left it at that. And then later on, I added people with disabilities. And that was in response to, I got an email from a disabled comic that was just like, well, what about me? I'm straight, I'm white, I'm a male, and I am in a wheelchair. And I am, he was like 3 foot tall or whatever. He was very, very little. So he's a little person, he was in a wheelchair, but he was badass funny. And I didn't even know he was funny at the time. And I didn't even know he was real at the time. I thought it was a troll. We were getting a lot of trolls.
Yeah.
Trying to slip
remember.
us up.
Sure.
We get weird emails and go, why did you, like, there was one person who came after us on Twitter, and they're like, you declined me from applying to the festival, but I am a black transgender woman. And I was just like, my heart just like sunk, and I was like, wait, we haven't even declined anyone. So I was like, this is really weird. And so I started like researching him. He was just like a straight white male troll. Yeah. And it's just what he does. And so he had a bunch of his followers tweeting at me. First thing in the morning, I woke up, checked my phone, and I was getting just creamed online. And I'm like, I didn't even know what was going on, And so when I got that email, I was like, is this another troll? I swear to God, if this is another troll. Because this guy has a point. He does have a point. People with disabilities are underrepresented in comedy.
Yes.
So if this guy is real, and even if he's not, he's still got a point. But I didn't know if I want to engage with this person because I didn't know, again, if he was real.
Right.
And so I Google searched him. Absolutely real person. We actually kind of had like a little friendship, back and forth. And I was just like, you know what, dude, you're right. This is what we need to do. And so like right in the middle of everybody, like just with their panties in a bunch, mad over the submission difference, which is 77 cents on the dollar from the regular submission that I'm offering the token comics. Right when everyone was kind of losing their shit about that, we were like, you know what? We are going to open it up to everybody that has disabilities. Because a lot of people thought that we were going to say, okay, fine, everyone can have early bird.
Right. And I bet there were a lot of people that were trying to get you to do that.
There were people actually on my own staff that were trying to get me to do that.
Oh, yeah?
They're not with me now.
Oh.
But that was like one of the first upheavals in the festival that we had. We had like, about 2 comics in my group that was just like, what about the men? And I was like, we're all kind of like, who are you again?
Like, well, and
what do you mean,
also,
what about the men?
And also, we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. And it's weird. It's when the pressure is outside with trolls, it's easier to deal with, and then it actually happens in your own, literally in your own home.
No,
somebody
absolutely.
who's at your house, and they're just like, no, this isn't cool. And you're like, but it is kind of cool. But, what are you talking about? It is cool.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, it not only functions as something that, I mean, it functions in the ability of it gets people talking about the festival, but it also, and then again, you're also making a point about the wage gap, but it's also
really, that was just such a small little joke that got everybody's dick hard, and it's funny, but that wasn't what we were doing.
Right. Well, it also is it's also like an olive branch to people who probably have not had many.
That's all it was. That's all it fucking was just for us to say to these underrepresented comics, hey, you can apply with us. Because when I was doing my research, I didn't just decide to make a festival. I went to festival directors. I met with them in person. I Skyped with them. I emailed them. I fucking chatted with them. I called them. And I asked them, how do I get people to apply for my festival? And they said, you're not going to ever have a problem with straight white men applying. And this is even before I was even going to make it a kind of a niche kind of thing. I was just going to make a festival for women. And they're like, yeah, it's hard to get women to apply for festivals. It's hard to get any minority to apply for festivals. And I don't understand why that is, except for maybe they don't feel welcome. Because I got that question a couple of times from reporters, and they'd be like, why is that? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm not out there trying to interview every fucking minority and go, why aren't you applying for I don't care. I don't care why they're not applying. All I care about is how do I get them to apply? How do I make them feel welcome? And it turns out just fucking up the price a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just it is literally an olive branch, here. Not literally, but you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
You can apply with us. We're okay. We're going to look at your fucking festival tape.
We're gonna look at your exactly. We're gonna we'll show you that we are definitely gonna look at your tape, and it's not just gonna be like giant circle jerk at the same kind of jokes and same kind of people.
And we're not just trying to get diversity. We're trying to get funny diversity, and that's the other thing too. Is it's like, yeah, that's great. I have all these token comics applying, but they all suck. You can't have that either.
No, you can't.
And so we would get,
because that just feeds into the
absolutely. We get these stupid trolls going, why don't you just book who's funny? Well, first of all, that's not how open submissions work. Not correctly. And I have now since judged in 5 or 6 other comedy festivals since the first year of Cinder Block. And festivals that aren't necessarily even in New York, I've been a judge for. And I've seen how other festivals do it. And I've seen why I think we're the best, straight up, when it comes to choosing our people. Because I do think that we have a more fair system than most. And our system is based on if you're funny.
Yeah.
And luckily, the whole minority thing, that just kind of happens because they're already applying.
Yeah.
So we don't even have to figure out diversity. It just naturally fell into our lap, especially with our lineup last year. We were like, well, we didn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
we just picked who was funny, and it worked.
Yeah. And that's a perfect place to be in.
Yeah. However, there was some press that we got when we did get press. It was really, really odd. There was, I can't remember what the publication was, but they were listing off our performers. And they're like, you got to check out this diverse comedy festival, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then they named 11 of our performers in the paragraph. And 9 of them were straight white males. Yep. And I was like, whatever, it's press, it's fine. And at that point, it was so close to the festival, I was just like, it's fine. I don't care. It's press. Right. It's fucking press. And if people come out because they saw Frank Conniff and Mike Racine's name on the fucking thing, so be it.
Yeah.
But they're also going to see, like all these other people that are going to fucking wow them. But it was just so weird that, that they were like, check out this cool, diverse festival starring white people.
White people.
White dudes.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like if I ever did have a female comedy festival, they'd just be like, and Mike Kaplan's in it too, Fuck you. P.S. We love you, but,
Yeah. I can think of at least five different online publications that would write that article.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to say who it was because I forget, and so I don't want to name the wrong.
Sure. Well, goodness, I'm glad that
no white men this year.
Well, that's why I'll submit a show. Maybe I'll have better
You know
luck.
what? I will tell you this, and if you're, I'll give the skinny here. Okay,
Yeah,
you want the skinny? Do you want some insider information for your viewers or listeners if they're comics and they want to apply? If you want to apply, by the time this airs, you won't have to worry about this early bird bullshit. Everyone can apply. So your submissions are gonna be $25, straight up. Right?
Which is a very fair price.
It's a normal
for a comedy
price,
festival submission.
Normal price for a submission. You can apply for an individual performer. It is going to be tough for you. Mm-hmm. It will be. However, it is easier to get into the festival with a well-made video for your show. That's what I'm going to say. Because we are always looking for people who know how to run a show, that would like to run it during the festival, because that is enclosed. That person already gives a shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
much easier for me to have somebody run their show during the festival than it is for me to create a showcase and have someone give a fuck about it.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you want to get into the festival, but you're not sure you're going to make it as an individual, by all means, just still apply as an individual. That way, if you do make it on, you can be booked for other shows. Mm-hmm. But if you just want your show in and you got a cool idea for a show and you got a video that it just clearly shows us what it is, might be the better route. Might be the easier way to get in.
Right on.
It's like a back door.
Sounds
But if you don't hear this podcast, you'll never know.
Yeah, so listen.
This is the only one I told it on.
Yeah. Ooh, exclusive.
Exclusive.
High five. So let me ask you a couple more things, and then we'll make sure we get all the dates for submissions and stuff plugged in. So when you're looking for a show submission, are you looking for more of like a cut together sizzle reel?
Yeah.
That kind of gives you a general idea of what it's like.
If your show's just a standard stand-up show, probably the best thing to do is just send us a tape of that host.
Of the host.
Just doing their set. Because then we get an idea about who's running the show. Mm-hmm. If your show is like more of a variety show, which, by the way, I love. Mm-hmm. I love anything with a twist to it or a spin on it because it just makes it more exciting.
Yes.
Especially for a festival. It's more of a party with a fun show.
Absolutely.
You can cut together, like you said, a sizzle reel. And the cool thing about it is if you want to understand what those are, you can actually just go ahead and email us at Cinder Block. It's info.cinderblock and ask us for an example. I will send you an example of a group that's like groups that have already submitted last year, got in, and had a great tape. So I will give you those tools to look at and compare and make your own product. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. It's about putting the power in the comic's hands. That's the whole point of this festival, is to help out people and make things a lot more clearer to them about how to do things. And I'm still learning.
Yes. And what other festival I've never heard another festival director who's going to keep it so clear and
I'm going to try to make it
positive.
as easier for people to apply as possible. I want, even if you don't get into my festival, if you walk away with an idea about how to apply to the next one, and I did that for you, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
And one more thing, and I'm curious just for individual submissions, because I've seen some places will want 5 minutes that no edits.
Good. Yeah. Don't.
Some people do
God.
the cut.
I don't want to see your audience. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not cut. Do not cut. Do not edit your tape. Unless
you don't edit it anyway.
Your tape is already edited, like on Conan. If you're sending us your Conan tape, I don't want the rough, the rough from your phone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking like, we've had people send us, and
has anyone submitted you a tape that just cuts from one bit that went well, one bit that went well, one bit that went well?
Yes, they don't work. Those people,
those suck.
The judges hate those. We don't like those. One girl sent a sizzle reel. She called it a sizzle reel, but it was just like her at different open mics. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And probably the most thing that disappoints me is when people send me a tape of an open mic, because I'm like, we know it's an open mic, and it's like, just no one's laughing. Why would you send us this? Like, like it's not putting your best foot forward to send us a tape from an open mic. It's also not putting your best foot forward to send us a tape of your very first show.
Right.
Or the very first time you've ever been on stage. There have been people, like, we've seen their tapes, and I'm like, they would have been pretty funny if they hadn't just said, this is my first show.
Right.
Because now I feel sorry for you. And now I also know I can't book you for multiple sets because you don't have that much material.
Right. And you're not going to just want someone to do the same set at each of those sets.
No, I do not want that. I want my performers to be able to have enough time that they can do multiple shows, and people can see them at one show and go, you know what, I want to check him out again. Where and then not see the same shit.
Exactly. It's like, no, they were good at that. Oh, I'll go see them at that storytelling show. Or I'll go.
Which should be a different set.
Oh, no, I agree.
Should be a different set. So, so there's that. Don't cut your tape. And what you can do is, there's a thing on YouTube where you can start the tape right at the joke you'd like to start with. We don't need to see you shake the host's hand. We don't need to see you put your drink down. We don't need to see you put down your notes. You can just start it.
Just start from where the joke.
At the top of your joke that you think is good. And if the festival asked you for 5 minutes, that's only because most festivals will just watch just 5 minutes and will shut you off. I know people that will watch a show, somebody's submission, and shut it off right at 5, whether or not the joke's over or not, if they're not feeling it. I know some people that will watch 30 seconds and shut it off if they're not feeling it. For my festival, I have clearly made it very apparent to my judges, you will watch that 5 minutes, even if you hate them. You will watch that full 5 minutes, because those are the people paying for your festival to happen. Whereas much as, like, for some people, their comedy's so bad, like, because they're so new. And I feel bad, and I'm like, I just want to refund their money. Like, I went through that a lot last year, where I felt so sorry that person had sent me their first open mic set, and I was just like, no, honey, I gotta send them back their money. I gotta send them back and I'm like, no, those people are funding this, and if they didn't support us, they wouldn't have done that. And maybe they know they're not ready. And I've actually gotten emails from people after the fact going, hey, listen, I know the tape I sent was garbage, but I just wanted you guys to know that I supported you. And I thought maybe there might be an off chance I might get in. And I appreciate that.
Well, that's sweet.
And I hear that later. But while it's happening, I'm just like, oh, my God, we can't take this person's money. I feel so bad for them. You know? Like, do they know to move the mic stand?
Yeah,
move the mic,
put it back.
I'll sit there and just yell at that sometimes at the camera, like, move the mic stand. Like, I feel bad, but when you watch 300 submissions
all those little twerks, you start learning like, ooh, I hate that. And not that I'm involved in the judging in this in any way, but one thing, if you're a newer comic and are going to submit to Cinder Block, the joke you have where you say, I know what you guys are thinking. Find a way to do it without having to say that.
That's cute.
That's just like that's just something I heard a lot of beginning comics do.
Well, then there's the hey, how you doing, which didn't bother me before, and now I'm finding it doesn't bother me now, but it's almost like a drinking game. It's hilarious. It's and I actually got that from, I don't know, Carol Montgomery?
Yeah.
So she's been in comedy for like 30 some odd years, and she has a resume that is ridiculous. And she's, last year she was one of our second round judges.
Uh-huh.
And she's, I swear to God, Corey, I can't every single fucking time. Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, over and over. And she's like, you just can't. You just please never fucking say that. And I was like, I don't know, like I didn't even, and I bet you I did it. I bet you as a performer,
Oh no, I'm sure I did. Everything that me and Corey are saying that we find annoying, we absolutely did.
I've done, absolutely. Oh God, I'm the queen of ums. The other thing was anyone who uses as a punchline, please stop using as a punchline. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, write something.
Yeah. And then I was like, that's not a joke. That's just a sound. Stop it. Sound. And so, I gotten a lot more picky with other people's comedy, and I think that's made me go, oh, well, how can I be so fucking judgmental? When my own comedy I hate. So
we all do it. Well, you should do a set on the last day of this year's festival.
I might do. If I do any sets this year, I'll do some storytelling.
Fantastic, because I love your storytelling.
Yeah,
your storytelling is
storytelling.
very
I got
good.
some stories.
Fantastic. So let's plug the dates real quick. What are the important dates for Cinder Block?
Okay, so submissions are now open. And they will be closing, I believe it's going to be May 8th.
May 8th.
May 8th is going to be the end of submissions. Might stretch it out, but I think it's going to be May 8th. So get it in there ASAP, because we've already been taking submissions for so long. I don't think I am going to stretch it out. It's just been going on for too long. Just stop.
Right.
Just submit. Get your shit in, submit. And if you have any questions at all, just reach out to our contact information's on our website. And one of our staff is always checking emails. We got a little team.
Excellent.
That's checking. So if you ever if you have questions about submitting, you can just ask us. We're not going to be assholes about it.
Fantastic. And what's the website?
CinderBlockComedyFestival.com. And you can see pictures from the last festival up there. And it's also got a lot of great quotes from some press that did stories about us last year. And you can just check out the whole website. You can check out who's on the team and what their experience level is. And you can kind of make the judgment just from that, whether or not you want to give us $25. But I think you will. I think a lot of people will see the festival and get excited about it and want to be part of it, because it was a really good time last year.
So. Excellent. No, it was a great time last year, and I'm looking forward to it again this
Me too.
This fall. Coree Spencer, always good talking to you.
Thank you, Will Carey.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Chatting with Corey, and that was a really good episode. And so if you are interested in submitting to the Cinder Block Comedy Festival, submissions are open, I believe, until the beginning of May. So go to cinderblockcomedyfestival.com. Again, that is cinderblockcomedyfestival.com, and for all your information on how to submit yourself as a performer or to submit your show to the festival this year. And I appreciate Corey being so open with what she's looking for in the submission process. And I'm hoping that I'll see you guys there this year, and because I plan on submitting a show. And I'll talk to you guys soon. If you want to support the show, you can, of course, tell a friend or subscribe, leave a rating on iTunes. If you want to donate to the show, you can check the link in the description for my paypal.me address. Every little bit helps, and I would be eternally grateful. I hope you guys have a good week, and of course, you can follow me on Twitter at ComicWillCarey, and I will see you guys next week between Awesome and Disaster. Take care, everybody.